This lesson on the growth of the Persian Empire. It's about Cyrus the Great and his conquest of Lydia in 546 BC. So now about the conquest, analyze and explain the events. Croesus, and the king. Ionian, a type of Greek. Diaspora, when a group spreads out across the world. City-state equals polis, and the Greeks didn't live in countries, they lived in city-states called a polis. Each city was its own country. Oracle tells the future. Delphi a place. Halys a river. Spartans a people. Subjugation, if you take somebody over, make them your subjects, you are subjugating them. And a revolt. So, the Lydian Empire. You can see here in the map, it's in modern day Turkey. It's most of what we in modern day call Turkey. It's a great empire in the ancient world, and the data we're talking about 540s BC, had grown quite strong, and it was a neighbour to the Babylonians and the Medes, and therefore the Persians. Very strong in cavalry, by all accounts, both light and heavy cavalry, and generally speaking, quite an advanced civilization with a strong military. Part of this empire was Ionia. So just there is that bit there, and that's Ionia, or we call it Ionia today. And they're where the Ionian Greeks lived. Yeah. Now, Persians, so that Lydia's been at war with them for quite a long time. They've made peace with the main city, Miletus, in 555 BC, but the rest of it, the Lydians had conquered, and it had become part of the Lydian Empire. Now, these Greeks who live in these city-states, polises, their ancestors had travelled this area about 500-600 years earlier to escape sort of earlier, they're called the Dark Ages of Greece. Something went terribly wrong in the whole region about 1200. So BC, Greeks had fled, formed new city-states in the area. Some on islands, Lesbos and Chios, the rest on the coastline here, and they'd flourished. They were difficult for the Lydians to conquer because they were fantastic sailors. And it will do more work on this in future lessons. They're possibly even the inventors of this type of warship here, the trireme, where the ship itself is the weapon. You fight by ramming other people. So Lesbos and Chios had stayed free from Lydians because they're islands and the Lydians couldn't get to them, but the rest had slowly ground down, and until 555 BC they'd been conquered by the Lydian Empire. So now the Lydian Empire contains Greeks, big part of our story. 546 BC, the king of Lydia is a man called Croesus, incredibly wealthy king, as rich as Croesus, as they're saying. And he'd become obsessed with Greek culture. Here's a picture of him on a Greek-style vase. He knew all about Greek culture, Greek religion, and in particular, he'd heard of the oracle at Delphi, a priestess in a temple in the town of Delphi who could tell the future. He went to the priestess, he said, on this side of the wall, he gave the priests presents, you paid them, and the priestess told you a riddle. The riddle, if you could interpret it properly, could tell you the future. That was the idea. So Croesus was very worried about the rise of the Persian Empire and Cyrus. So he sent messengers to the oracle at Delphi asking what he should do. And the oracle said, if you cross the river Halys, a great empire will fall. The Halys was the border between the Lydian Empire and the Persian Empire. So priests thought, fantastic, I've got my answer. If I attack Cyrus, I'll win. The great empire will fall. So, 546 BC, he launches a war against the Persians. There's a battle. It's what we call a draw. It's inconclusive. And Croesus withdraws his forces to his capital city of Sardis for the winter, because in the ancient world, people on the whole don't fight during the winter, sends his armies home. Says, right lads, come back in the spring, we'll go again. However, Cyrus doesn't play by the rules. Cyrus attacks Sardis during the winter, taking the Lydians by surprise. It's a battle outside Sardis, called Herodotus, and the Persians win because they realise the Lydians are strong in cavalry. But in the army of the Persians are some camels. The camels attack, and the horses are afraid of the camels and run off, and the battle's won. Yeah, and Sardis is captured, Croesus is captured, Lydian Empire is now part of the Persian Empire. However, remember, amongst this empire are loads of Greeks. These Greeks have sent word back to Greece asking for help. And the Spartans have agreed to help them. They can't get there in time with their actual army, but instead they send messengers to Cyrus saying, okay, you to not mistreat these Greeks that you've now conquered in Lydia, the Ionian Greeks. They're relatives of ours. We're in alliance with them. If you damage them, if you attack them, if you mistreat them, you have to deal with us. And we're the Spartans, we're nails. And Cyrus says, who are you? I've never heard of you. This is the first connection, it's the first time the Persian Empire and the mainland Greeks have ever come into contact. Up until this point, neither have even known the other existed. But as the years go on, you're going to see in the rest of this course, these two sides are going to know each other really quite well. Right. A year later, after Cyrus leaves the area with his army, whole area, the Ionian Greeks, the Lydians, rise in revolt. Cyrus has got to come back again, and this time he's not nice to people. He destroys the area quite thoroughly, sets fire to cities, kills people, because it's the Persian way. They're quite tolerant, but if you cross them, they're very harsh. And lastly, we're going to look at this quote from a poet, Xenophanes, that's how it's pronounced. We'll read that and we'll talk about why it's important.